The brain, it's gone.
That's not all. The entire spinal cord is missing.
But it's incredible. It's as if some mental vampire were at work.
Does it come from another country or another world? This terrifying menace that G2 must destroy before it's too late.
Image is fading, sir.
There it goes again. Same trouble.
How can they stop this invisible force whose only warning is a weird, blood-chilling sound? Only two people still alive can help this agent find the answers. The girl who could be a spy, and the scientist who could be the destroyer of the entire human race.
We're facing a new form of life that nobody understands. I believe it feeds on the radiation from your atomic plants, and that it's evil.
We've got to stop them.
There's only one way: shut down your atomic plant.
If I can get through, I can blow up the control room.
Down south, she'll go for me. How would you like to look like me?
Look like him? Whoops, my dear.
How would you like to look like me?
Well, my face may look like heck. Look like heck, it looks like heck. But yours looks like a horse's neck. A horse's what? A horse's neck. Oh, wait a minute, Mr. Flip. Pay no attention to those
as the scientist who discovered that the human brain can survive bodily destruction, can continue to function as a dynamo of living thought, generating a mental power greater than the science of man. Gene Evans, as his assistant, sharing the burden of a terrifying knowledge with ever-increasing fear and hatred.
Stop that!
Mr. Donovan intends to dominate the international financial scene. And a fatal accident will occur to all who happen to stand in his way.
Steve Brody is the reporter who probed too deeply into the beyond and received the full impact of its deadliest forces.
Yoakum's death was no accident. Donovan engineered it.
And the same thing could happen to us. Donovan could kill us the same way he killed Yoakum.
That's right. And it's too dangerous to wait any longer.
As the woman who was compelled to submit to the brain's satanic vibrations of evil.
I have my noise suppression on.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls, and welcome to the Friday Night Scream Stream. I'm your host, Spakenstein, joined as always by my very good friends, Mr. Evan Sink.
Good evening.
And Mr. Fresh Rogan.
What's going on?
And so you should eat a... Okay, now I gotta know.
Caught him with his mouth
is
full.
this a salad or is this a zalad?
Oh. Tonight it is actually a zalad.
Wow, on the money. I knew it. I called it. What can I say? I'm a psychic. Thanks everybody for joining us. I see Sweet Feet's in the house. Tuning in for Season 5 of the Screen Stream. Our first episode of Season 5. And guess what? Also our first episode of Year 2. We're over a full year into the stream, so we're on our second year. We're sophomores. We're in our sophomore stage.
We're in our sophomore slump.
Well, I don't think it'll be a slump now. I'm very excited.
No, it is. It's a new season.
It's a
spring. It feels like spring.
It does feel like spring. It feels like we're in bloom for a brand new crop of public domain horror movies that it just feels fresh, especially compared to what we watched on the first 4 seasons of this show. We're definitely trying to mix it up this season, digging into some more cult oddities and some more graphic movies. Definitely kind of getting a little bit more risque.
This isn't a cartoon.
No.
Not that kind of graphic.
Not that kind of graphic, unfortunately. We're talking good. No, not in the modern sense graphic. No, we're talking in the good old fashioned blood and guts sense of graphic, and we've got that pretty much on deck tonight. We're watching a film from 1962, The Brain That Wouldn't Die. And this is a certified cult classic. This is about as cult classic as it gets. And it's got mad scientists and monsters and telekinesis. And of course, a brain that won't die, or a head that won't die, depending on if you're watching the beginning of this movie or the end of this movie, and I'll go into what that means later. But this movie it's got a lot. It's got it all. It's a little indie regional production, and it's got a pretty interesting history, so it'll be fun to get into tonight. But yeah, this is definitely kicking off a season which is going to be full of surprises and Fresh, are you sure? on the bottom of the dock.
Maybe check your spam
It
folder.
should be.
Oh, I haven't whitelisted you as a sender. That's probably what it is.
Oh, okay. There you go. You get that worked out.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, you nipped that in the bud fresh. Okay, great. But yeah, so this movie is a lot of fun. Super excited to be kicking off season 5 with this. I always try to start seasons with movies that I've enjoyed in the past, and I think are, I wouldn't say that this is a great movie by any means, but it's a fun movie just because it's so over the top. So we're gonna
fair warning, don't get too excited, but
don't. Well, I mean, again, it's gonna have some gore, and of course, the production code was breaking down. So we're also,
what year are we in?
19. Well, okay, so it was
okay.
It's
that's not a simple question, I guess.
Movies for this movies are like this for this stream. You guys, oh my God, Fresh sounds like he's in an insane asylum right now.
Fresh is in the laugh corridor.
In the laugh corridor, yeah. All the laughers, they keep them in one section and the laughs reverberate off each other. But the last movie that we watched, season 4's Scared to Death, you remember how that sat on a shelf for like a year, 2 years before it was released? That's what happened to this movie. It was filmed in 1959. It wasn't released until 1962. But we'll go into that. But they definitely were trying to kind of push the boundaries of what you could show in terms of not necessarily nudity. I don't believe there's out and out nudity in this movie, but it's definitely, they're trying to show you as much as they can. As
again, don't get too excited.
To give you kind of the basic, like a very simple log line to describe the main portion of the movie is that a scientist is looking for a body to put a head on. And so he's looking at all these women in seedy nightclubs and looking at their bodies and seeing if they're as fresh as Zalad over there. Because that sounded like a fresh, crisp iceberg bite right there.
That was a crunchy bite, my guy.
Mm-hmm. That's how you know he's got a good mic. You can really hear that thick crunch. That's real ASMR.
We'll do our Zalad ASMR video.
Right. We're
Zalad ASMR.
We've got it on deck tonight. We're a multifaceted stream here. We're not just riffing on old public domain movies. Yeah.
Glad he's eating on mic and not
Sweet Pea, it's just for you, Sweet Pea. We knew, and I mean that was the request that we got when we asked for audience feedback at the end of season 4. They said we'd like to have you guys eating more in your mics. Like there was that one time when Evan and I were eating popcorn the whole time, and that was our highest rated episode. They said you need to be chewing more in the mic.
It's what the audience wants.
Spilling a little bit of popcorn on your beard and not knowing and just leaving it there for a little bit. We love that. So, but unfortunately, Fresh doesn't have a camera, so
somebody chewing loudly.
We can't see all the cheese and all the salad dressing that's just covering Fresh's beard right now. I'm sure he's a sight. But yeah, so
we do want it.
Yeah, no, Fresh. You got to pay extra if you want to see Fresh eat the salad. You can hear him eat it for free, but if you want to see him eat it,
that's my other channel.
That's you. You got to pay the big bucks for that. We can't pay him enough for that here. So, but enjoy the sounds. So yeah, we're gonna watch The Brain That Wouldn't Die tonight. And as always, Evan, if you're new to the show, Evan brings us a delicious cocktail to pair with each film in a little segment which we call...
What were you drinking?
What are we drinking tonight, Evan?
Well, tonight's drink is a real kick in the head, because that's what it's called, the kick in the head. It is made with rum, bourbon, mango juice, orange juice, a little bit of lime juice, and get this, some black pepper.
Ooh,
shaken,
that sounds good.
Topped with ginger ale. So, for me, part of the fun of doing this segment is just seeing what kind of crazy things you can kind of mash together. I gotta say, I would not have thought of this. It
No.
almost feels like cheating to throw black pepper and say, "There you go, there's your drink." But I don't know. Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe do people do that? Do people put pepper in their drink?
I think so. I think if you're looking for a little
No.
spice, you're.
No.
Oh, what do you mean no?
I don't know, man. Maybe somewhere. Maybe somewhere people.
No.
I think so. I think. Well, I mean, doesn't a Bloody Mary have pepper?
I mean, that's kind of
Hang on,
different.
hang on.
though,
Let me
'cause
make
that's
my
like,
point.
That's tomato juice. Tomato juice and pepper makes a lot more sense than mango juice and OJ.
Yeah, I guess that's a very
Yeah,
good.
you have to
point.
go savory or you have to go sweet. You can't go both.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's
Hang
but
on,
we'll
let me get a
see.
mouthful of salad and I'll make my point.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Get a mouthful of pepper.
All you gotta do is like, how you just gonna put pepper in a drink and go like it's your own? It's like sampling. It's like sampling.
Regardless, I mean, it's a pretty drink.
It really is, and I actually love looking at all the little pepper flakes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
you can't really see them very good on camera, but
it looks.
they're
like,
really pretty.
Yeah, it looks like the glass is dirty.
It does.
Some
What are
flecks
these-
in the glass.
What are these little specks floating around in here? I need. Make me another one.
All right. Well, we're
All
gonna
right.
give this a shot. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers to everybody at home. Ooh. Okay. It's good. Like
it
it's
is good. It is good.
like it's the first word that comes to mind. Okay, good.
Yeah,
good.
I mean, it's just
there's
it's
nothing
pretty
like
solid.
overpowering about it. There's
I'm
nothing.
definitely getting the bourbon. That that always cuts through, but
Mhm.
there's enough juice in there that it's a pretty smooth drink.
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of surprised, and I think the pepper complements it nicely. Actually,
Somehow, it was worth all the work. If you're making this at home, folks, be prepared to be at
yeah.
it for a
Evan
few
was
minutes.
hard at work for like 20 minutes before we even
Last season.
hopped on here.
Last season, the motto was keep it simple. This season, the motto is make it really complicated.
Pendulum swings in the completely opposite direction, and I think that makes sense. I think that's the way to go with the
You have to balance out how simple it was last season.
right. Yeah, that's the way that the universe
I've
works.
used too many ingredients.
Right. Yeah, way too many. way too many. No, I actually think this
It's
all
so weird. I can taste the pepper.
Yeah,
like,
you definitely
just a little
can.
bit, but it's not bad.
Mm-mm. No, it's not bad at all.
I'll eat my words. I guess I was ignorant.
You, look at you, sitting over there in your ignorance. How could you?
With your non-peppered drink.
I never doubted the pepper. No, I'm just kidding.
So I'm gonna start putting pepper in all of my drinks.
Yeah, it's just good. You should just, all the drinks, go pepper. Can't go wrong, right? What do you think that would taste like in Coca-Cola? What do you think? You throw a little
Coca-Cola
pepper.
and pepper.
Yeah, what do you think that would taste like?
Dr. Pepper.
Actually, yeah, that's
Yep, that's
pretty
what
good.
you get.
Pretty
Yep,
good.
go try it at home. If you got some Coca-Cola and you got some pepper, you put them together, and this is a Scream Stream guarantee. It will taste like Dr. Pepper. It's this cool new trick. It's this cool new hack that nobody's telling you. The pepper
And
actually.
if you spill it and you need to clean it up, you can mix your own cleaner by using the power of. Never mind. I'm not going to say that.
Oh no. We want all your hack cleaning tips fresh. We know that you got the inside scoop.
Yeah,
okay?
use the disinfecting power of bleach along with the stain lifting power of ammonia. You should mix it up into a pretty good cleaner.
Right, but put some pepper in it.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit of pepper. I mean, I think this actually turned out pretty dang good.
Yeah, we've got a winner.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna remember this one.
I would say so. Well, that is delicious. It's going to be perfect for this movie. I think a little blunt force trauma or any kind of impairment that you can have going into this movie is perfect, because it's not for having the word brain in the title. It's not too much of a thinker. You're not going to have to again, the last movie we watched, Scared to Death, that's a thinker.
That was a thinker.
Still doesn't make any sense.
Should we mention so
please?
So independent of each other, Fresh and I both watched last time's movie again like a few days later, just trying to wrap our heads around it.
Because they told me this and I was shocked. I was very because I didn't know how they felt about it after we watched it. So when they both chimed in our Discord, so I watched it again, trying to figure out what's going on. Color me surprised. Fresh, I think you're back.
He's
so
back.
Yeah.
First off, that's not how I sound. I watched it again and didn't figure it out.
Point taken.
That's not how I sound.
I'll give you that. You're right. That's not how you sound.
Yeah, the second time I did not make it through. I did not get through the movie.
I was I don't know if I should admit this live or not, but I was at work.
Hey, you got nothing better to do? That's actually the perfect place to watch it.
Yeah.
Try to solve that mystery. Wow. Well, that's great. I actually love that. Again, to me, I was just surprised that it stayed on both of y'all's mind.
I think for me, it was the thought that this is one of Garrett's favorite movies, and I just don't get it. I need to see it again. And I can appreciate how it's so fast and it's so kind of complicated. It's a lot like Clue.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to just you want to decipher something that's that dense, but it feels like there's a lot of elements in that movie that just don't make sense.
Yeah, I mean, that is the thing. I really appreciate that both you and Fresh kind of made that effort to be like, okay, what is it about this movie? Because I don't think that you can't, I think only me at 7 years old watching that movie is and loving it then is
I don't know what 7-year-old me would have made of that movie.
I just was so hyped that it was a Bela Lugosi movie in color. It didn't
anything else.
Just the satisfaction of that alone was so cool to me. Oh my God, he's always in black and white and now he's in color. What? 7-year-old me, mind blown. Speaking of 7-year-old me, mind blown. Tonight's film, The Brain That Wouldn't Die, I also watched for the first time when I was 7. Got it in AMC. Remember when we watched Dementia 13, the DVD? So I've got it over right there. I didn't grab it before the show, but I've got the DVD pack that this came in, and it's an AMC Monster Fest pack. And I can't remember what else came in it, but it had The Brain That Wouldn't Die. And my dad actually knew about this movie and told me then oh, this is a really cheesy. I think this movie was where I first started to get the idea of oh, it's a cheesy, this movie is cheesy. It's a B movie. It's a cult movie. Starting to understand what that was at that age with a movie like this, because I knew it wasn't good, but I knew that it was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that there was oh, it's a lot going on. They're doing this and this and this.
How technically good is this movie? Because is it an Ed Wood kind of thing? Or are we getting into a culty so bad it's good, or is it?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's, and we haven't gotten a lot of those on this show. I don't think, to be honest with you, not to disparage any of the movies we've watched so far, but I do think that.
How many cult movies have we watched?
I mean, it's all relative. Some people would say that Scared to Death is a cult movie, but I would say that The Terror. Little Shop of Horrors. Actually, now that's probably the biggest cult movie that we've watched so far, without a doubt. And I think there's some other ones, but it's kind of a relative term. There's no like defining.
You don't get a stamp of.
No, you don't. There's no board of cult that cult that gives you this designation. It's just kind of you either find this audience or you don't, and it's crazy. How many public domain horror movies have ended up kind of attaining cult status, and this is one of the legendary ones. Tonight's film is definitely checking those boxes, so I'm super excited for us to dig into this. It's something else. Anything before we get into it tonight, boys?
I'm enjoying my salad.
Nice.
Keep enjoying it. Again, Fresh is feeding his brain right now. And as we're about to see, sometimes a brain, depending on what state you're trying to keep it in, it needs certain nutrients. It needs very specific things. So for Fresh, it's salad. And for tonight's brain,
it's also salad. Wouldn't you know it?
It may be salad. Well, I think that's one of the things we'll try to find out tonight. And I've also got a poll question that I tried to set up the poll before the show really quick, and I didn't have enough time to do it. So I'll just ask you guys later. But I gotta think it's
a poll of two.
A poll of two. Yeah, and I think I'll be interested to see what the audience says.
Okay.
But it's a
two
fun
answers on the board, 60 seconds.
Oh, okay, that was last week. That was Wheel Movies. All right, we already did our game show. We had that experience and it was fun, but now we're strictly back to the world of public domain horror. We're done with the wheel. We put the wheel away. We put the tarp over the wheel. And
until next
until next year when I have the strength to drag it back out again. And then we'll do Wheel Movies again. But until then, we're stuck with the public domain horror. But it's the way we like it here. So I think, Fresh, if you have it queued up.
I do.
The exciting beginning of The Brain That Wouldn't Die right now.
Let me die. Let me die.
Strong opening.
How's that for a hook? So the title of this, obviously, it was not filmed under this title, and you saw the title card there didn't have a copyright symbol on it. That's how this ended up in the public domain. Is they changed the title for distribution. It's what happened to Night of the Living Dead. Change the title for distribution, forget to put the copyright symbol on it, public domain automatically.
Bing bang boom. Public domain.
Like 100%, Evan. That is not an example. Bing, bang, boom, to the letter.
Straight to the domain. Do not pass go.
So we'll be talking about Rex Carlton later. He's the producer, co-writer. He's got an interesting story that we'll dive into at the first break.
He has small arms, but a long neck.
Ah, I'll just wait till we get into Eddie Carmel. You're all gonna love that. Damn it. We lost him.
He was as good as dead when they wheeled him in.
Yep.
You did everything possible, everything you could, Dr. Coyle.
Everything.
Everything?
Everything except save my patient.
Everything.
Everything.
In the books.
You know those 4 out of 5 doctors? I'm the 5th. I stole that joke from Evan. That's actually Evan's bit.
The operating room is no place to experiment.
He's dead. I can't do any harm.
Very well. The corpse is yours. Do what you want to do.
The corpse is yours.
All right.
Sounds like a game show, like host. That's the question.
All right, let's see what's behind curtain number 2. You've won a brand new corpse.
By myself.
The corpse is yours.
The corpse is yours.
Gotta love that.
This dude's family is gonna be like, why is it closed casket? And they're gonna be like, because the doctor said he was already dead, he couldn't do any more harm.
He said it was field day at the hospital, and we could just, bodies were fair game. He said whatever hot medical experiments, whatever headway you've made, we want to see all your hot new discoveries. Bring them to us. Try out whatever you got. Open season. Is this how we do surgery?
You gotta go at the right angle.
You know, just crook my elbows up here.
Look, these surgery gowns only let you bend a certain way.
Graphic. This is definitely pretty graphic for the time.
If it isn't too late.
Look at that, a genuine American General Electric.
A faint pulse beat.
Keep massaging the heart.
I am.
These electric shocks should stimulate the motor area enough to innervate the heart again. Then he won't need any external stimuli.
Keep away from the motor area.
Medical jargon,
Paralyze
medical
him for
jargon.
good.
Which would you rather be, paralyzed or dead?
Don't try to play God. Some choices are not yours to make.
When the obstetrician has to decide which to save the mother or the child, who plays God then? It's part of the game.
Game? The human body's not a jigsaw puzzle to experiment on.
Still playing it safe like
You gotta love these mad scientists, man.
There's always some time for philosophizing while you're standing over somebody cut open.
All right, Grey's Anatomy, we get it. You guys have a lot of drama to get through.
I've been working on something like this for weeks.
In your laboratory?
I knew this would work if only I had the opportunity.
You don't conduct experiments on people. You should be sure of the results.
Just animals. Peter be damned.
I am now.
Peter who?
No, Peter. I'm saying Peter.
Oh my God, get out. Both of you get out.
All right.
I love how they can't afford like one of those like electronic machines, so they just have this little bag.
Strong and steady.
So is this a low budget film?
Incredibly. Well, $62,000 at that time was probably pretty good. Pretty decent. Probably around $500,000.
Yeah, I mean, that's not nothing.
Not nothing. And again, it was regional. It was filmed in Tarrytown, New York.
I may not approve of your methods, but I am proud of your results.
I'm proud of your results.
I'm proud of you, son.
You did it,
I
son.
love you, Dad.
I love you too, son.
High five. Ah, you got blood in my eye.
You're a real doctor now.
Oh, we lost him. We lost him. We just lost. As soon as we got him out the door, I don't know what happened. He's just gone.
It was an amazing, even an extraordinary operation, son. But it still is too risky, too uncontrolled.
Is it his son?
Mm-hmm.
Seriously?
After effects,
Oh my god.
I was just joking.
I thought you knew.
No. His father-son surgeon
funny.
duo.
Yep.
Very common back then.
Oh, just wait. It gets even more intimate. You'll see.
Before you put a scalpel to one, an operation like this needs testing.
I don't like the way you said that.
You'll see. You'll see what I mean.
Yeah, we can't
Get
see
out.
them from the waist down.
Monkeys, not people.
Dead now won't think so.
Washing.
More to surgery than just being a carpenter to patch up walls or a plumber to drain pipes. Our
Yeah,
bodies are
drain
capable of
pipes.
testing
We
in
know.
ways
We
we've
know.
already
We.
dreamt
This is all euphemism talk.
of. We can only find the key.
We know what's going on.
So close now, so very close.
He's very close.
Yeah, it's not getting any better with the innuendo.
To be able to transplant limbs and organs. To be able to replace diseased and damaged parts of the body as easily as we replace eye corneas now. So that the new parts will join together as though they were born there.
Can't be done.
Damn it, son.
You'll never make it. You should just give up now.
My new special compound I've created, I'll
Thank
do
you,
it.
B.
I
Arthur.
know I can do it.
Sure, that's what you say.
That's what I know. I know I'm close.
Darling, I'm so proud of you. I could kiss you.
For a second, I thought that was Nancy Reagan.
Always promise.
No. Fortunately, Nancy Reagan didn't stoop quite this
Stop the
low.
floor show.
Donovan's brain was
You grow
close,
married, it won't
but
be fun to watch anymore.
Well, I can promise you one thing. Your
What?
grandchildren won't be test tube babies.
You better hurry if you want to catch that plane to Denver, Dad. You know that medical convention can't start without you.
that plane to Denver, Dad.
Jan, you'd better check about my reservations.
Oh, yes, I'll call the airport. I'll be right back.
Nancy Reagan doesn't know about a brain that wouldn't die.
Oh no.
Between
Oh
scientific
no.
genius and obsessive fanaticism is a thin.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah,
That's
that was
pretty
good.
good.
But I can't cover up for you anymore. The superintendent had it out with me. He thinks it's you who's been stealing those limbs from the amputee operations.
So what if it is?
He thinks it's you.
That's so ridiculous.
So what if it is? Who cares if I've got a few extra limbs?
I've got to have them to work with.
Maybe they should just mind their own business.
Sure, I've made a few mistakes.
They don't need them
They're not
anymore.
using them, they're dead.
Your reservations are all set. 3:30 takeoff.
I'll be the best surgeon on earth
Well,
after I
what have you
transplant
two
all
planned
these
for the
extra
weekend?
arms.
Oh, nothing much. A quiet weekend.
You sure you're not going up to the country house? You're always sneaking off up there. The place gives me the creeps. I should have sold it when your mother died.
You can't sell that place. Well, I mean, it's nice to get away from the city. I can work without anyone snooping around.
You spend too much time up there. All right, I'll see you both in a few days. Got to clean up and get out of here. Fine operation or not, Bill? You're walking on thin ice. Don't
You
go
can't
too
play
far.
God, son.
You're a loose cannon, son.
He's a
Turn in your
doctor who doesn't play by the rules.
Turn in your gun and your stethoscope.
Touch me, I go out of my mind.
In your pager.
Kiss you. Bill, I want to get married. I can't stand not having you.
You've been wonderful.
I'd rather be a bride.
In a few more weeks.
We've actually seen her before. She's in an episode of One Step Beyond called The Bride Possessed. So you probably won't recognize that was almost a year ago.
I remember that one. They were driving around in the car.
Yeah, she was the woman in that. She was the titular bride.
Dr. Cortner. I'm so glad you're here. I was afraid you'd gotten away. There was a very important phone message that came to you. It sounded quite urgent. I've been looking everywhere. It was from a man called Kurt. He called from the country place, and he said something terrible has happened. He wanted you to come right out.
Thank you.
Something terrible
Well, you've
is
always
happening.
wanted to know what's kept me away from you so many weekends. Have you got the keys to your car?
Strap in.
haven't you ever taken me up here before?
Because the things I'm working on don't need an audience.
That telephone call. What about it?
So you may or may not notice that doesn't sound like how this woman has sounded so far.
What's it all about?
We'll be there
Let
soon
you kind
enough.
of listen.
You'll see. I've got to hurry.
The actress Virginia Leith would not come back to do ADR for post-production because she apparently did not like the experience. She was actually a contract actress at Fox, and then her contract expired, and she did this. And then this was like her last major role in a movie.
So then they just got somebody else to do the...
Right. Yeah, they got, I think it was that lady who played the nurse. They got her to to do the ADR.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You want to ride up to the mountain?
Oh, big news, guys. Winding Road. If you didn't need a giant sign to tell you.
Hey, lady, look how fast my car can go.
It's actually her car, Fresh. Okay, don't be such a misogynist, all right? He borrowed her car.
Yeah, that's worse.
Hey, lady, look how fast your car can go.
Did he forget his glasses or something? What is going on?
Rolling.
Doctor Strange.
Yeah. Yep, that's right. Well, you could call this guy Doctor Strange. That would be an appropriate name.
That was a pretty sprightly jump to his feet there.
Oh, yeah.
For somebody who's in so much pain.
All right, just gonna run to the country house. And I always love in these old movies when they unnecessarily move a tree branch. It's like, all right, what are we doing?
It wasn't really in the way.
It's like, I'm so tired. I'm so exasperated.
Can anybody guess what he's carrying? It's a football.
Hike.
And he's going for he's for the touchdown.
He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown! Woo! I don't even know if we get an exterior shot of the house that he's going to. Which always frustrates me. Same with Scared to Death. When you don't get like an exterior shot of the place you're supposed to be at, you're just like,
yeah.
I just don't.
You don't know where you're supposed to be.
Right. Where are we? Run, Forrest. Maybe we will. It's been a while since I've seen this. We'll at least get the front gate. All right, now that I'm here, let me just take a second to catch my breath. I'm so tired. Never mind, I was wrong. There it is. This
is the place in the mountains.
I guess this is the country house.
At,
no, the country, Evan. Upstate New York country.
More like the old country.
The
We're
old.
here at Castle Dracula.
Oh, bro, just you wait till we get to the break, man. You want to talk about Castle Dracula? I've got the perfect trailer for you.
Wait, for God's sake, open the door. I'm coming. Matter.
Look at that statue. Foreshadowing, perhaps.
Got to save her.
What is it? What have you got there?
Kirk, please. Sterilize the tubes and instruments quickly.
What are you going to do? Aren't you going to have a look in the closet first?
No, I can't now. This is more important.
But you don't
For God's sake,
understand.
Kirk, this is urgent. Do as I tell you before it's too late.
Yeah, Kirk.
Precious time.
Worst assistant I've ever had. He's not a mad scientist. He's an angry scientist. Thank you, Fresh. Very good. That's great. Sweet Feet, you're in the house. I've been meaning to ask you how we've sounded tonight. If there's been any echo, or if we got a new audio set up in here, so definitely want to get feedback on that. You gotta love. It's definitely stock music. There's no way this movie has an original score.
I give it an 8 out of 10.
Really wish I could see you holding up your judge markers.
Got some science going on in here.
Science.
He's sciencing.
Yeah, man, you just pour a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
Kind of just eyeballed that too. Like, did you not measure that?
Oh, come on! Don't tell me you've never just eyeballed. Like, come on, you just
Not out of a tube like that.
Yeah, it seems like it needs to be accurate.
Usually, you'd put something into a tube, like out.
I think we've seen this scene before.
Looking a little familiar.
In the opening credits.
Lights. I saw them move. Can't be.
Yeah, it's a cute theme song.
What's done is done, and what I've done is right.
This is just the extended version of your intro. We're not actually watching any of the movies yet.
Yep, that's right. Gotcha.
And welcome to the Scream Stream.
Good evening, goblins and ghouls. Oil can.
Burning.
Is this one of those sensory deprivation tanks?
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. We're at Joe Rogan's house.
Oh my god.
How long does Joe Rogan spend in his sensory deprivation tank?
I've had success with transplants.
I
think he spends like 6 hours a day in there or something.
Oh my god. Are you serious?
Yeah,
Jesus
you
Christ.
heard it here first.
You heard it. Breaking news.
She'll live and I'll get her another body.
6 hours a day.
Just floating in the
So when his
tank,
wife's
bro.
like bitching at him, he just gets into sensory deprivation tank.
Outrageous.
Never be like before. Don't argue with me.
I'm getting in the tank, Linda.
Joe, don't you get in that tank.
You do when this marriage is over.
Can't you see?
I bought it. I'm getting in it.
To all that lives.
Mom,
An order and a
it's Joe. He's in the tank again.
and a brain.
He's always in there.
He just won't get out.
No. I'll give her a brain and a heart.
Yes, and what of her soul?
What of her soul?
You can remember her love for you. Then how can you make of her an experiment of horror?
Horror. Is that how I need to be pronouncing it, guys? Horror.
Horror.
Horror. Ha ha
pattern of my
ha.
life is shaping itself to save her now.
Then you intend to go through with it.
Horror.
yes?
Horror. Hur.
Horror.
Now I'm just Frank Reynolds saying Hur.
Looks so lifelike, even in the far away
It does. I know that
look
it's
pretty
not real, but it does. It does.
The facial expression looks a little off. Like she just.
Yeah, like she's surprised.
Yeah, she's really surprised.
Well, I guess you would. That's what you would look like if you didn't have a body anymore. You're just in a pan, which if we can't steal it from Mystery Science Theater, but their nickname for this character, this head, her name is Jan in the movie, so they call her Jan in the Pan, which I think is very, kind of hard for me to not want to call her Jan in the Pan. So if I do, just know I stole it from Mystery Science Theater.
Cited our sources.
Jan in the Pan.
Borrowing.
Dude, how pissed would you be if you were like dead and everything was already over, and then someone did this to you?
Yeah, that's essentially what this whole movie is about. How pissed she's gonna be when she wakes up. Ooh, when she wakes up, she's gonna be mad,
bro.
You done fucked up, bro.
Do you think she's gonna be more mad about the car or the head thing?
Car.
Probably the head thing.
You wrecked my car.
You totaled my car.
Let me see it. No, take me over there and let me see it.
What's in there?
What's behind the locked door? Ooh. You gotta love that gothic horror.
This is really cranking up the mad scientist factor. It's got some kind of monster in a locked closet.
I know, it's not just the head. That's what I love about this movie, man. It's got multiple things going on.
He was already a mad scientist before the...
He was. That's a fact.
Think about her now.
And his assistant here wants a new hand.
Got to find her a
He's got this thing in the closet. This guy wants a new hand, and now he's got to get a new body for his girlfriend.
It'd be kind of hard to do science with that hand.
How do you do it? There are ways.
How's he not going to measure the liquid out of the test tube?
There are ways.
That's a good point. Now, his storyline from here is just him looking for a body, and it's kind of ridiculous, but this is where the head starts to get in on the action. It's a lot of fun. I love this music, man. I love how they do this. So here we go. Here's our first little taste of the nudie cutie portion of this film, which nudie cutie was a genre. It's not really nudie cutie because then there'd actually be nudity, but I think there's a cut of this with nudity. I don't think that's this one. We'll find out.
Is that one in the public domain?
I think so. I mean, the movie just is in the public domain because AIP didn't put a copyright symbol on the new title card.
Gets him every time.
Every time. So this is like a lot of the movies, this kind of stuff.
I like the Rat Pack behind her.
Right. That's definitely the Rat Pack. I see Lauren Bacall back there.
And then Vince Vaughn walks in.
Oh, then the Brat Pack gets in a fight with the Rat Pack, and it's the greatest battle of all time. I mean, I guess this falls under the umbrella of burlesque. Burlesque would be, I guess, what, it's not quite a this woman isn't a go-go dancer. I think this style is more burlesque.
This is a cult burlesque movie.
This is, yeah, definitely like more burlesque. And it's so funny, like, just remember that every time we're watching the scientist, his whole goal is he's trying to find a body for this head that he's got in his basement. So I just want you guys to keep in mind as he's, like, sleazing around, oogling these women, ogling these women. Oogling, ogling.
I think you're saying Googling.
Googling these women. Okay.
He is
I think that is our first break. I think right there was, I believe. Fresh will.
No, 49.
Wait. I was only
Yeah,
a couple.
claps.
I was on. Well, that was the claps, right? I thought they were clapping. Were they clapping?
It was her stare. It's the 49-second mark.
Yeah, and she stared, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that was it, right?
Okay, you're ahead of me then, but yes.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, well, we're basically at the same spot.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think we were ahead of you.
A little ahead, but that's fine. We'll be synced up now. But okay, so that is the first third of the brain that wouldn't die. And what do we think so far?
I like the I can't get over the monster in the closet. I can't wait for that.
You want to know what that is?
I want to know what it is. Open up the closet.
Don't you love it when these movies can create an element of mystery like that?
It's also just kind of like random. It's like about this brain, and then he also has a monster in the closet.
It is kind of a, I think I read this on some blog. It's a kitchen sink approach, you know, you really need to overload this so that somebody will pick it up. But again, this sat on the shelf for 3 years. They filmed it in 1959 under the title The Black Door. And I guess it was, they were really trying to sell this mystery element of what's behind this locked door, which honestly is kind of a cool gothic horror plot device.
It is cool. It's not the main thrust of the movie, though.
No, it's not. It's really not. It's really
unrelated.
It's about the brain, or that again, the head is probably the more accurate title.
Yeah, this poor girl. So did I miss something, or like, why was this guy just driving like an asshole?
He had, well, remember,
he borrowed the car, and then he had to drive at like 100 miles an hour up this winding road.
He's just a dick.
Well, he is just a dick. Like, that's a given. But remember, he also had gotten that emergency, like, you know, message from the nurse who said, there's a call from somebody. They said, you got to come up to the summer house right away. It's an emergency.
Okay.
So,
well, he probably would have got there sooner
if he hadn't gotten into an accident. Good point, Evan. Very point well taken. Yes. Yeah. So
yeah, I completely missed that. I was like, okay, now he's just driving her
like
car
an
like
asshole.
a dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, you got to love the way that they are able to shoot around actually having like any real car accident footage. It's just, you know, it's going toward a guardrail and then him tumbling down the hill.
Got tossed clear. I guess he wasn't wearing his seatbelt.
No. Oh, bro, are you kidding? Of course he was not wearing a seatbelt.
It probably wasn't a seatbelt.
He just stumbled right
what's
out.
A seatbelt?
Yeah, what's this? Back in those days, yeah, you saw how snazzy that car was. I bet you it did not have seatbelts. Back in those days, your car was fancier if you didn't have a seatbelt. So that's a fun fact for everybody.
That's like the premium, like the, what was it called? Like an add-on on a car.
Right, yeah, you gotta pay extra.
You gotta pay extra to have them remove
to
the
have
seatbelt.
them take them out. Yeah.
Don't give BMW any more ideas.
Oh no, yeah, that's God no. We definitely don't want that. Yeah, I mean it's, and you know, we haven't gotten a lot of the brain action yet, but
brain's just waking up.
Let me assure you that she wakes up and she's not happy, and and so if you didn't think that disembodied head and monster behind a locked door were enough, we're gonna get a third element in the mix that really
There's more.
There's more. Like, if you didn't
But wait,
there's more. I actually do. The more that when I thought about today, what I feel like this actually is, I was like, oh, like, okay, so this is this third thing going on in this movie that's like ahead of its time, kind of. It's kind of
a lot of things.
It's a lot of things. So it really opens up in the second act. But yeah, right now we are, we're still early, so it's gonna be fun. But again, this movie, it was shot in 13 days, shot in New York, shot for very low budget, and then it just sat on the shelf for a while. And I think it was when they actually got the right title on it that they were able to get it sold and get it distributed. But the producer of this movie, who also he co-wrote it, Rex Carlton, doesn't necessarily have the best track record when it comes to like getting his movies released in the proper way. This guy, he only made a handful of films, really. The year before this was released, he did another horror movie called The Devil's Hand, which is also public domain. We'll get to see it eventually. But he was like a producer, writer kind of guy. He never directed. He just like was able to kind of partner up with other B movie makers. He was the money guy. Like he'd get the money and also kind of pitch the story, I guess. And then sell it off to a distributor. But in this case, it took a couple years. The Devil's Hand, I'm not sure what happened. And then he did some movies, he had his own company called Paragon. He made a movie called Blood of Dracula's Castle. Evan, you said that the exterior of the film in tonight's movie looked like Dracula's Castle. Well, it's funny enough that Rex Carlton produced a movie called Blood of Dracula's Castle, which he made in association with Al Adamson, who directed. Al Adamson's the guy who did Dracula versus Frankenstein and Blazing Stewardesses, which is that Ritz Brothers movie with 2 of the 3 Ritz brothers after the one of them died. But this was actually one of Al Adamson's first movies, and there's this like crazy story and this documentary about Al Adamson about Rex Carlton. So after the break, I'm going to tell that story. I want us to see this trailer first. It's also got in that movie, Blood of Dracula's Castle, John Carradine, who we saw in our mini-sode this past week, The Meddlers. And
meddling.
And of course, I'll go ahead and tell you, they cast John Carradine in a movie called Blood of Dracula's Castle. He doesn't even play Dracula. He plays a butler. He got the Lugosi treatment. Wow. Once he hit a certain age, you're like, all right, well, you're not going to cast you as Dracula anymore. You can play the butler. And so you'll see that he's just kind of buttling around for these vampires. And it's like, what are you doing? Why aren't you using it? Who knows? And the second trailer we're going to see is for a movie that Rex Carlton did, I guess, like not too long after, called Nightmare in Wax. Pretty self-explanatory. It's about a deranged wax museum owner. So that's pretty standard. But both of those movies are kind of like tonight's movie in that, like, they were made and they sat on a shelf for a couple years because he had trouble getting the movies distributed. And I'll go into a story about the trouble he had for Blood of Dracula's Castle after the break. So we're going to get these 2 trailers. And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting middle of The Brain That Wouldn't Die. So stick around. We'll be right back.
This castle. It's a fascinating place to visit. But you couldn't live here. Not for very long, anyway.
Let me go!
This is the master bedroom. Certain people find the old place positively captivating.
What are you going to do to me?
Right now, I'm going to take a sample of your blood.
Blood of Dracula's Castle. For the most charming vampires you'll ever meet.
Delicious. I've never had it before.
It's new. The type 00 positive.
Oh, by the way, George, we have arranged for Johnny's release.
And we shall be supplied with new vintages all the time.
Johnny's their ward. He's not a bad sort, either, if you like fiends. And we mustn't forget Mango. He'll relieve the tedium if you get bored. Blood of Dracula's Castle. A picture that will delight anyone who finds a certain satisfaction in horror and lunacy. Drop in tonight. Meet the members of the household. You may even see the last of a vanishing breed.
They're gone. Turned to dust.
See Blood of Dracula's Castle in color.
Remarkable, aren't they? So natural, so real, seemingly alive. I'll let you in on a little secret. Some of them are alive. Zombies, frozen in a theater of terror. People puppets, acting on the cues of a madman.
Ralph, Leslie, let me move, breathe, move, walk, follow me.
Nightmare in Wax. It started with an accident. Cameron Mitchell as Vincent, once a man, now a monster. Anne Helm.
You comfortable?
Oh, very. Am I going to be in here for long?
Only an eternity, my dear. Now, look, honey, don't try anything funny with that knife. I don't want to hurt you. Don't be
Scott Brady.
Knife. Honey?
Observe the preparation of victims about to join Vincent's demonic legion of the walking dead.
I'll back up.
Nightmare in Wax. Frightening. Diabolical. Weird. Nightmare in Wax. In color. A Crown International release.
And we are back. So yeah, that was the trailer for Blood of Dracula's Castle and Nightmare in Wax, both produced by the producer of tonight's film, Rex Carlton. And those movies were released, I think, around 7 years after tonight's movie was released. But Rex Carlton kind of has a little bit of a reputation. So when he produced Blood of Dracula's Castle, apparently the guy that he worked with, Al Adamson, they shot the movie. Al Adamson went to New York, and he and a producer friend of his lined up a television distribution deal, sell the rights to TV, and it was going to cover all the costs that they had put in and give them a little profit. But before they could make that deal, Rex Carlton, apparently the rumor is that he had a gambling problem and owed debts and basically got the money to make the movie from shady people and then couldn't pay the debt back. So he had to give them the film. And then this is according to this documentary about Al Adamson, who is a B movie director. Apparently Rex Carlton, after this happened, went back from New York to his home in LA. And this is quote from the doc, sat down in his bathtub, put a gun to his head and blew his brains out. So
the brain that would die.
Yeah, that was a brain that definitely was definitely not as well preserved as tonight's brain. But no, apparently this documentary, one guy is like, oh well, I didn't think he was the suicide type. So it kind of, it gets a little it gets a little catty, but it is kind of wild that the producer of tonight's movie he kept trying to make these horror movies, but he kind of got himself in a bad spot and ended up.
Don't they always say that?
I mean,
no one ever says, I think he was the type. I could see that.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Yeah, that's a
You know
good
what?
point.
I told people this was going to happen for years.
I knew. I tried to warn everybody. Well, and again, so that whole Al Adamson documentary, that's ironic because that whole documentary kind of is focused around the fact that Al Adamson himself ended up being murdered. And he was, again, the guy who directed Dracula versus Frankenstein and all these other like really kind of cheesy 60s and 70s B movies. In the 90s, he was murdered by his contractor. And that documentary is a great documentary. It's on Tubi. Go check it out. And it's, it's got talking head interviews with all these people and they go into this. And that was why when I saw Rex Carlton produce tonight's film, I was like, wait, where have I heard that name? Didn't I hear a crazy story? Because I couldn't find this story on Wikipedia or anywhere else. Like it was just in this documentary. So I had to go watch that bit of the documentary again today just to make sure that I had their recollections correct.
You're doing his research.
Now, you got to be thorough when you're talking about conjecture of people being, gambling addicts and all that good stuff. You don't want to.
You don't want to just.
You don't want to
toss those around.
Yeah, you don't want to. Not lightly. No, it's certainly not. And yeah, I mean, again, Rex Carlton didn't do too many movies. But that's. Al Adamson said that was like, this was a lesson for him in the business, was that like, it was one of his first experiences. And it's like, yeah, it can get pretty sour pretty fast. So let that be a lesson to all of you. That's Charlie and Sylarn popping his head in for a second. Yes, we'll probably hear from him later, maybe. But we are about to get into the exciting middle of The Brain That Wouldn't Die. Anything before we get into it, boys? The head has not woken up yet. We're about to see her make her grand entrance, although she's not really. She's in the same spot where we saw her the last time, but she's gonna start making a good impression, I think. So, I mean, what do you think? She's in a pan. What kind of damage do you think she can really do? What are your expectations from this head?
What do you guys think your first, like, if you woke up in a pan, what would your first?
What my first thought be?
Yeah, or maybe what would you say first?
I don't know. Probably. Sorry, go ahead, Fresh. Oh well. I was just gonna say probably crack a dumb joke more than likely.
Yeah, I was thinking I'd say order up.
That's good. That's I'd probably try to make a head pun if I could. Of course, I don't have any for you now. I should have typed up a list full of head puns before the show started. Unfortunately, but I think at that moment I could rise to the challenge. And take it face on, head on.
There we go.
Head on.
Yeah,
yes, that's it. Took me. I didn't quite get there the first time. To get there,
you gotta kind of.
You gotta make it
around to it.
I have to make it hard for myself. That's my Sisyphusian rock to bear. But yes, and Evans made us another wonderful kick in the head. So this will be my second kick in the head. So I might want to. I don't know if we have a concussion test prepared for us to take at the end of the show, but I think that might be appropriate after taking 2 kicks in the head.
We've got a medic here on set.
Yeah, standing by.
We're gonna get Garrett checked out.
You better believe safety is our number one priority here on the Scream Stream. Certainly not like the mad scientists in tonight's film. Obviously, safety. If safety was his priority, he wouldn't have gotten into a car accident in the first place. But here we are. He's got a head in a pan to deal with, and he's trying to find a body. And the head in the pan's waking up. So that's about as quick summary as I can give.
Mondays, am I right?
Garfield. All right. Well, I think Fresh, if you have it queued up.
I do.
All right. Then we're going to get into the exciting middle of The Brain That Wouldn't Die right now. Okay, yeah. I think we're on the right page, Fresh.
Like the fancy dog wallpaper.
Yeah, it's just really classy in 1959. Top of the line. You get that at the Sears Roebuck. I mean, again, we don't hear him talking. Like, we don't actually see. Like, that's the thing. These scenes with him are just ridiculous because it's just like this. Like, they probably didn't have sound there that day. So this is how we do it. It's like silent movie time. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get our silent movie out of the way
this doesn't
sooner
count.
Than you think. No, this is not.
Oh, no.
This doesn't count.
Oh.
That was a hard cut.
Cut it hard.
Cut it hard. A little bit of cross cutting. Yeah, that's I really, that's when I go out, I like to sit that close in a booth to be and talk with our heads like this far away from each other. That is the most fun thing.
Hey man, what's going on? Not much. How you been?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right here. Let me tell you something.
I liked your act.
Is that all you liked?
Well, your costume, what there was of it, was interesting. The rest of the equipment is standard. But, the arrangement is pretty special.
You know, tourists just looking at the sights. What are you doing here, slumming?
Well, I get my allowance once a week.
Okay, if you're so loaded.
Wow.
You pay for the drinks.
I love this slang. I don't know about you guys.
Hustling for the house?
I hustle for myself.
Sugar. Come on.
I'm the leading lady around here.
Call
I
him
sit with the squares
call
out
him
front,
Sugar.
Or I can relax back here with my friends.
I'll bet you don't have an enemy in the world. Hmm?
It's just gonna be the next 30 minutes. She's still asleep.
She's still defrosting.
Let me die.
Dude, I'd be so fucking mad, dude.
Yeah, it would suck.
Let me die.
Where are you from?
Oh, around. Just looking around.
When you get done looking, then what?
I operate.
I get your message.
See, that's the thing, he is not hiding at all his
You could flip any
intentions.
chick in the house. Why me?
Well, like I said, I'm looking.
Well, you don't have to look any further. I'm not going to fake it for you.
When do you go on again, hmm? When?
Relax. I got another show yet, but it could be for you.
Oh, I was just asking.
He said, "Oh, geez, if I gotta pay, I'm out."
I just can't.
Are you getting nervous? I'm over 21.
How it is that?
It's good to know. I appreciate you being so forward about your age.
To take care of.
Well, if I don't exactly make you sick, what could be more important that could be taken care of right now?
But I've got to see about helping somebody.
Look at him. He's like, he's examining her neck. Like, he's not like making a, well, he kind of is making a move, but he's really, he's examining, you know, her body to figure out if it's the right body for the head he has. Now he's making a move. Now, yeah, there it is. Oh my God, this is the most ridiculous shit.
Oh, look who's talking.
Get ready for the symbolism.
If the guy was less of a dick, wouldn't anybody do?
I only came in here to change my clothes. I got admission. Now I'd like to see the rest of the show.
What was the point of that close-up? Yeah.
What was that?
Get lost.
Sorry. We thought we had to cut right there.
Hey. Come here, don't hide. You know, you've got the kind of face a girl doesn't mind looking at. Even out front, all the other girls are asking about you.
Get out of here. Choose company. Three's a crowd.
Oh. But I thought it was Three's Company. So what was that about?
Yeah, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Hold on now.
The only thing that's going to be made around here tonight. Honey.
Eat your heart out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
What for? Look
What
you've
for?
done. Fussing with your 2 cents. Let me see you later. I'll make everything up to you. I swear I will.
Come on, Doc, you could have 2 bodies. Put his head on 2 bodies.
If you mess up on the first one, you should have a backup.
You lousy tramp. Once in a blue moon, I latched into a guy with class, and you messed it up.
Yeah.
What makes you think you had him?
Yeah. Says who?
Says me. What's a guy like that want with leftovers for?
Leftovers?
Wow.
Third-rate stripper. You are fully over.
That was a meaty sound.
Yeah, that didn't look like a woman's hand. That looked like a man's hand. The director just off screen, just like, I'll take care of this. But
is this a comedy now?
Yeah, pretty much. There's your comic relief. She's awake.
Our readings are off the charts.
This head is doing spectacular. What's up? It's your mother. Don't know.
I know there's someone there.
Why doesn't he just put her head on the monster's body?
Good point. That would definitely, she'd be pretty durable at that point. Unstoppable, you might say.
Yeah. This is my invincible fiance.
She's, I just said, what she could really use is the body of a giant.
And I'm not the first. Knock twice if I'm not the first. Should have let me die. I hate him for what he's done to me.
I think that's a pretty, I think that's the sentiment I think we'd all feel in that moment. You asked earlier, if you woke up in a pan, just your head, how do you feel? Hate is probably pretty strong first emotion.
Together we could
Yeah, I'd be mad.
You want revenge?
Well, you know, now that I think about it, it's not... I don't know, maybe I need to let it play out a little more before I make this assumption.
You thing inside.
Yeah, part of me was almost like, maybe I could handle being just ahead, but then I thought, well, I wouldn't want to be like...
He's given me a power he didn't count on.
That's more or less the same thing.
Power that
Right.
you can feel. Across this room and through that door. Can't you?
I bet that was a uncomfortable film.
Oh, for
having
sure.
her in this like table, I guess.
That's probably why she wouldn't come back to do ADR.
Oh, yeah. They had me stuck in that table for 12 hours.
You think I'm going to come back to speak in a microphone when you had my head clamped into a table for 12 hours a day?
We're both more than things. We're a power as hideous as our deformities. Together we'll wreak our revenge. I shall create power, and you will enforce it. You, the thing inside. Be the thing out here.
So, I think we kind of missed it, maybe some of her talking. But I'm under the impression that she and this creature developed some kind of telekinetic bond with each other.
I thought she was just talking.
She was, but with some of that stuff she was just saying, she was talking about this power. And that's when I didn't quite catch it, but...
Would you guys be just ahead if it gave you telepathic powers?
Yeah, I think so remember I talked about a poll question. Let's save our thoughts about that for the poll question. It's kind of, I think that is a caveat to the question that I have. Because when I really thought the question out, that was basically, that's the caveat. But we'll get into it at the break. Don't worry. It's like, I love how bare that set is.
It's a really empty room.
Apparently, like, the sets were in the basement of a hotel in Tarrytown, New York.
Where was the exterior? Was that the hotel?
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I love these shots where you know, from behind, where you know it's a dummy.
What's locked behind that door?
No normal mind can imagine. Something even more terrible than you.
No, my deformed friend. Like all quantities, horror has its ultimate. And I'm that.
There is a horror beyond yours. And it's in there. Locked behind that door. The paths of experimentation twist and turn through mountains of miscalculation and often lose themselves in error and darkness. Behind that door is the sum total of Dr. Cortner's mistakes.
Yep, the guinea pig, the one guinea pig.
Right to bring me back to this.
Perhaps not. Who knows?
Over 40 medical experiments, and the guinea pig is still alive.
He injected the serum into that. It was but a mass of grafted tissues. Lifeless. Just lay there, weighted down with its transplants of broken limbs and amputated arms. But with this serum...
How many arms?
It began to breathe.
What, do you pump it full of stem cells or something?
Would you have thought possible what he's already done? Take yourself. He's brought you back. You live.
Has there been a horror movie where somebody's like Frankenstein up a monster with stem cells?
Not quite, but
He's been doing up here where no one could see
that's
his
real
work.
science. I'm sure there have been.
Transplants on that.
You know me, my movie radar is 40 years behind. That's how we're here tonight. That's why we're here tonight.
Time after time, test after test. My hopes shattering with each grafted arm he fastened to me. Watching it wither and warp. Instead of strengthening. You see, he's learned from his
I'd love to
mistakes.
be this actor talking to just the dummy head.
You stay with him, helping him in his grotesque work that he claims is for science.
Was there a place for me on the outside with this?
He's like, this
I
is
love
my...
how his fingers are just curled up, dude. It's so funny.
And covered in
Turn away from me in disgust.
probably spirit gum and...
Wait,
no.
Is he trying
No,
to
they're
make...
literally just curled up.
Is he trying to make the
He's
point...
got makeup on him.
Is he trying to make the point that, like, the science community wouldn't accept him because he has a, like, kind of disfigured hand?
Probably.
Used to be a surgeon.
There's a big theme in this movie about deformity, I think. I haven't thought about that before, but it seems to be
It was an accident.
kind of running.
They had to amputate my arm.
I have to work for this mad scientist. See, I lost an arm.
No one else will hire me.
I had no choice. He was my only hope. A surgeon needs
Obi-Wan
both his arms, not just
Kenobi.
one. Well, you see, my transplanted grotesqueness stayed. So did I. I live only for the day he can work a successful transplant to my body. That is why I stay.
Transplant my head onto another body.
Whoa. What?
And he's insane with the belief he can do it.
But the tissues of my body would reject the tissues of another.
Reject.
Reject it as the foreign substance it is. The transplant would never take it, would never stay in place. My blood's antibodies would attack it as they attack any invading matter.
Yes, but his new discovery, this new serum, may change all that.
The monster serum. It's perfect. It's perfect for you.
Lymphoid tissues. Here in the neck. The lymphoids that provide the antibodies for the blood that detect foreign transplanted matter. It was untested, untried, till we used it on you.
So that liquid in the blood that's being pumped through what's left of me is what makes me feel the... He may produce results he didn't ask for.
Results? You mean like this?
Results more terrible than your arm of relative beauty. Results of power.
So good at being arch.
Power. What power?
I mean, if you're gonna
You're at the
be
mercy of every element of the universe.
a severed head, you might
How
as well.
can you speak of power?
I have power.
I guess, yeah, if your vocal cords are damaged, then you're...
My brain burns with it.
Marlon Brando.
That thing inside
She
it.
dated Marlon Brando, apparently.
Want me to prove it?
She dated all... She...
Prove nothing.
Rumored to have dated all the big movie stars at one point. James Dean, Richard Burton, Frank Sinatra, Bob Hope.
You'd think the head thing would get in the way of her dating life, but
You would, but nope. They were into it.
What's some head?
They like a
she's
good...
got that good head.
Yep.
Let me know if you hear it.
She's got it and she gives it. That's what Frank Sinatra said. No, just kidding.
Whoever, whatever you are, I command you. You understand me? I'm only a head, and you're whatever you are. Together we're strong. more powerful than any of them.
Yeah, old Frank was a rascal. He you better believe he was getting around and definitely did it his way.
What are you running from? What's wrong with you?
Oh, it's you. Something wrong. Something beyond control in that room.
There's nothing beyond my control. She's alive, and I'll keep her alive until I find her a body.
Yeah, this guy, this fucking asshole.
I'm tired.
For a car.
You didn't find her a body? Well, I've got to be careful. I can't afford to be identified as the last person seen with a girl before she disappears.
Do you think you'll get one?
That's that scientist brain thinking.
There are many things left for tomorrow.
He came back down to say that.
Yep. just wanted to pop in. I don't want to go into the basement. I don't want to see how any of that is going. I just wanted to change my clothes and go back and try to get a body. I have to make sure I'm incognito. I want to be seen.
When I'm driving my car 500 miles an hour down the road.
Yeah, the insurance policy on my dead girlfriend's car paid off nicely. I got the same model, just in black.
He drives his car a little more carefully than he drives her car.
I don't care about this car. It's not mine.
It's not mine. Fucking creep?
Just creeping on women.
I love the music.
Yeah, the most sleazy sax.
Hi, I was about to call a cop the way you were looking me over. How have you been, Bill?
Oh, just fine.
Oh, they know each other.
Too long. I'm still waiting for that call you once promised me.
Well, you know how it is with interns. All work.
All work and no play even makes for dull doctors. You're gonna lose that bedside manner of yours. Say, how about a little side course in anatomy?
Yours? Anytime.
No, not mine. A body beautiful contest. You know, bathing suit models. Plenty of females on the hoof. Your eyes have a field day. Interested?
Well, why not?
Hey, you looking to look at a bunch of bodies? Cause I've got the perfect opportunity for you.
On second thought, I just remembered I've got to stop by my place and take care of a few things. It'll only take a minute. You don't mind.
The Miss Perfect Body for a New Head to be Transplanted on Contest. The 5th annual.
Always so obliging.
Hey, Donna, where are you going? What's the hurry? Hi, Jeannie.
Hey, Jeannie, nice sleeves.
Oh, sure, plenty.
She definitely made that outfit herself. We all know. I mean.
Gonna stop off at his place. Sure.
Get in. Don't close your sleeve in the door.
Her last date was pretty rough on her. He ripped her sleeves off. She had to improvise, and she cut up an old dress and gave it some new sleeves.
Now that there's two of you, we'll have to wait.
Guess he thinks there's safety in no.
God, the 60s were such a terrible... The late 50s, sorry. Terrible time for women. To be fair, every time is a terrible time for women. We're all feminists here. I don't mean to speak for you, Fresh.
Don't be speaking for me. I am, but don't be speaking for me.
Looks like we're about ready to go. Backstage are 5 of the girls who have reached the contest finals, and we are here to choose Miss Body Beautiful.
Oh my! See, like, how ridiculous is this?
Just serving themselves up on a silver platter.
On a silver operating table. Helen Appleton, the most 1959 name of all time. See, when I say so much of this movie is just leering,
yeah,
it's the male gaze. It's leering at these. But it's the plot. He is looking for a body.
I mean, yeah,
for this head.
That's the story. This is Male Gaze the movie.
You're not wrong.
I just love this shitty music.
I was gonna say, I just realized they just keep reusing the same stock song, sleazy, over and over again. Peggy Howard. God, they're just so. God, it's just so white. You know,
They said what state we're in? New York.
New York, yeah, upstate New York. So just that's. There's your answer.
No, another girl, a figure model. You remember that one in school years ago? The one who had the accident.
Oh, yeah. Doris,
Doris Powell.
Yeah, she's still around?
Few people see
Doris,
her in
Helen.
her studio posing for art classes.
These names are dying out.
Doris.
Evan, I want you to commit. You and Fresh both have to commit on this stream that you will name your firstborn daughter either Helen or Doris to keep the names alive.
If we don't, nobody
We're doing
will.
our part.
And me as well, obviously. It goes without saying.
They're gonna forget about this name if we don't.
The dark ages of names.
We watch these old movies. Yes. Future generations have to know.
To rob them of their body. Do you hear me?
Do you hear me?
I haven't missed the break, have I, Fresh?
Yes, you hear me.
Yeah, actually.
No.
Oh, not yet, not yet.
It's coming up, though, isn't
Drives
it?
him on and on.
What if she's not actually telepathic? She's just being arch and kind of deluding herself. The monster can just hear her and is good at following instructions.
I think you're right. He's like, I may look like a monster, but I'm not an idiot.
Humanity. To be joined to flesh not your own. What's human in this? Of how you
I'm a
must
monster,
exist,
but I'm not dumb.
locked behind that door. We've got to stop him.
And that is gonna take us to. I probably did it early, didn't I, Fresh? A little bit, but
It was the dissolve.
yeah, I should have gotten to the dissolve. So I know, Fresh, that I stopped it right after she said stop him. So, and the cue, the musical cue was starting up. So we'll go ahead and break it there. It's 30 seconds early. It's fine.
What's 30 seconds between friends?
Right, exactly. Now, you know. But all right, so that is the second. We're 2/3 of the way through the brain that wouldn't die. What do we think so far?
You know, it's going. It's staying kind of interesting, I guess.
Well, again, the doctor stuff is pretty static. Like he's just looking for a body,
just waiting for him to choose a body,
oogling all these women, and just kind of, you know, nobody's bothered by it. No one concerned.
No body's bothered by it.
No.
Well, he is at
These women are just throwing themselves at this doctor too. He could have had, you know, a dozen bodies.
At this point, come on, guy, cut to the chase. I mean, you really got to go to a Miss Body Beautiful contest and look. Now I think this plot is just getting ridiculous. That is where I draw the line.
We're still waiting on the and more.
Well, that was it. It was the idea that I thought the head was telekinetic, that there's a telekinesis subplot to the film.
That is more.
That's more. But I don't know, maybe I was making that up. And like I haven't been following what she's been saying about that too well, but I don't think
I think you might be right.
Is she implying? Because I thought she was right. I'm not sure.
Hey, you know, has anybody ever tried it? If you cut your head off, you get telepathic powers.
I don't know. You know, that's a good thing to test.
Let's all try it.
And
but you first.
Yeah.
That's actually what our poll question for this evening's about. And we can do it this way. I can go ahead and ask the question, and then after break, you can give me your response, or we can just wait after the break for me to ask the question and to get the response. Would you want some? Do you want some time to sit on this, or do you want to?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Okay, all right, I'll go ahead and give it to you. Okay, so the poll question, and for our audience tuning in this evening, we want to hear from you. The poll question this evening: would you rather have your head transplanted on a new body, or have it kept in a jar or a pan, or your brain even kept in a jar or a pan? And this comes with a caveat that Evan brought up earlier. We're probably having to assume that because remember, the caveat was something about how if you're a brain that you have, was it psychic mind power? Was it the basically like that if you're going to be a brain in a jar, you've got to be able to. We were talking about it earlier. You probably don't remember exactly. I wish I could too. But that idea of if you're a brain in a jar, you would hope that you can communicate.
It would make it a little bit better. You know, it sweetens the pot. If the question is would I rather have, you know, if I'm gonna be just a head either way, would I rather be on a different body or just be in a pan
or a jar? Like again, I want you to think Futurama style rules were open to that. Like that you could, because you remember how all those heads in Futurama,
they seemed okay, but
and they have a lot of like power. Like they do a lot. Like
they had the Nixon voice.
Right, Abraham Lincoln. I think
just do more by having a body.
Yes, technically.
Is there any downside to having a body?
Oh God, yeah. Well, your body's gonna eventually give out if they can keep your head. Okay, let me put some more caveats on this.
Okay.
Give you a body, but there's a shelf life on that body, or head in a jar, and they could keep you alive as long as you wanted to stay alive.
Oh, so you're an immortal head.
You're either an immortal head. Yeah, that's the question. You're either an immortal head or a mortal body. What do you choose? So sit on that. I don't want to hear your answers yet.
Well, one last thing. Do you get telepathy if you're an immortal head?
That's the caveat. That's why I said, okay, see, now you see why I say it's
I think
caveat.
That's the that tips the scale a little
bit. It does. That's I don't know if I can give it. Well, let's address it after the break. How about we at the break I want to know both. I want to know your answers for both. But we're going to go to the break. We've got 2 trailers. And this is just really simple. All these old movies, especially when we get these 60s public domain horror movies, they're usually B movies on a double bill with another movie. So the 2 trailers we're going to see are the movies that this was paired with. So there's Invasion of the Star Creatures, which is like a comedy. It's kind of ridiculous. I haven't seen it before, but the trailer looks ridiculous. And the second is for Burn Witch Burn, which is a British movie. In Britain, it's called Night of the Eagle, or in England, it's called Night of the Eagle. And then in America, AIP, American International Pictures, who released tonight's movie, and both of these trailers movies, they retitled it Burn Witch Burn because it's got like a whole witch thing. It's really cool. But we're gonna get these 2 trailers, and when we come back, we're gonna answer our poll question: would you rather be an immortal head or a mortal body? And then when we come back, we'll get into the exciting conclusion of The Brain That Wouldn't Die. So stick around. We'll be right back.
look at those great, big, beautiful babes.
We're here on your Earth as a scientific investigating team.
Hey, baby, you're really out of this world.
As scientists, these girls are way ahead of us. For instance, in the raising of Vegemen, gigantic, man-like robots with fantastic strength. And the things the girls don't know, they're willing to learn.
Let me take you away from all this, my chérie.
Haven't you ever heard of love? Show me.
The gags and laughs come fast and furious in this fun-filled battle of the sexes.
One of us ought to go back and warn the colonel. You don't think he's going to believe the story about galaxy gals and guys growing in flower pots?
If you would, in the interest of science, you understand, kiss an Earthman.
Stand by for a charge, baby.
Burn, witch, burn.
Norman, your picture! Norman, your... No, no, not your picture!
Tansy!
Norman, not your picture!
Heavens
Norman,
sake.
no!
Are there supernatural powers her scientific husband denies exists?
I want some kind of explanation.
What is it, obvious? I'm a witch.
Can another woman's fiendish jealousy possess and injure her?
Don't answer it.
Hello.
Hang up, Norman!
Take me in your arms. Oh, Norman, after you've undressed me with your eyes,
Is this woman really a voodoo witch, conjuring evil spirits to do her sinister bidding? Shocking powers of witchcraft. Powers that can even bring a stone eagle to life.
I don't like it. We are back. So
we're talking birds.
We're talking birds. If you haven't seen Bird Witch Burn, aka Night of the Eagle, that's the monster, is this giant eagle. And it is, I've seen the movie. It's some pretty scary, like heart pounding scenes, but I don't like birds anyway. The movie Birds has never bothered me, but in real life, like fucking hawks flying around my yard, I'm not about it. I don't like it.
Garrett just told us that he was afraid that the bird that lives in the woods behind his house is going to swoop down and get him.
It's getting into fights with big birds that also fly in this area. It's protecting its territory. And I'm afraid I'm going to be caught in the crossfire at some point. All right. I see my hair. Yeah. I'm afraid they're going to see my hair and think that I'm something that they need to swoop down and mess with. And like, So I'm just always like, oh God, where are they? Like trying to like keep my eye on them because they're flying all around. It's you don't even want to know. I probably look like a crazy person to all my neighbors.
Yeah, look like.
Garrett, you need to
Yeah.
you need to throw out something to appease the birds so they don't.
Yes, dude. One time,
sacrifice.
Like you need a sacrifice.
A couple weeks ago,
you need a scapegoat.
The hawk was literally perched on the very like top pitch of the house.
Yeah.
Of the roof, like looking. Like I pulled into the driveway and parked, and it was watching me. And I got out of the car and I looked the hawk in the eyes. And then immediately was like, oh, I don't think I'm supposed to be looking this thing in the eyes. That's a bad idea.
Garrett.
And so I like looked down and ran inside. As
Garrett,
quickly as I could.
is there a chance that this bird is trying to communicate with you? This bird has a message for you, maybe?
I don't think we can rule it out.
Do you think that this is maybe someone that you knew in a past life?
It could be. It could be a deceased relative.
Has come back.
Somebody. Because let me tell you, when that thing looked at me when I was down here pulling in the car, it stared deep into my soul, and it was actually kind of. I mean, again, as soon as I realized I was looking it in the eyes, I thought I shouldn't be looking this thing in the eyes.
Okay, maybe the message is bad. Maybe it's come to get revenge.
It could be an omen. I certainly consider that it could be an omen. Again, we're a horror show here. You have to be open to that possibility. And so I certainly was when I saw this hawk. But past couple days.
How badly would you have to fuck up to come back as a hawk?
No, I think that's good. I thought it would be a good thing to come back as a hawk.
I think that's at least on this side of the curve.
Right. Yeah.
You could do a lot worse than a hawk.
You're not a bug. You're not a rat.
You're not the mouse getting eaten by the hawk.
Right. Yeah. You're still pretty. Yeah. You're pretty far up on the food chain if you're a hawk. So you're gonna be feeling pretty good about that. But
yeah. But if you're a person, that's better than a hawk, right?
Well, is it? Is it?
That's what I'm saying. If I get attacked by the hawk, then we know that the answer is no. And
welcome back to Philosophy Stream.
Yeah, we're going to answer these mind-boggling questions that you've always had about
what I mean. What's like the next thing below a human? If you get like demoted, like you go one rung of the ladder down.
I mean, it depends. If you believe in evolution as an order of things, then I think you
evolve. I don't think that.
If
you reincarnate,
that's just kind of where my mind is gone. If we're talking about what you go to next, I mean, is it just evolution? That's the philosophy I'm throwing out at you. What do you think about that?
No, it's a completely different thing.
No, but I'm saying if there's an overlap,
we're just asking questions.
That's Philosophy Stream. That's what it's all about. Just throwing shit out there.
Speaking of asking questions, our poll.
Oh God, I almost forgot about the poll. Okay, we have to get to that. Yes. So, would you rather be a disembodied head that lives forever in a jar or a pan, or your head is transplanted on a new body, but it's mortal? It's limited. You got a shelf life. So, where are we? Where do we stand, Evan?
Well, so I already have a head on a body that has a shelf life. So I don't know that even if I have a different body, I don't, I can already kind of, I know what that's like.
You're not any worse off.
Yeah, I'm not really that much worse off. I don't think, if we're talking no telepathy, I'd probably just stick with the body. But if I was an immortal telepathic head in a jar, I might just go full supervillain.
I couldn't look up any of this brain stuff today without thinking about the cartoon that was paired with The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Evil Con Carne, where it was the brain. Yeah, you're a brain in a jar on a bear. It's great. It's perfect. Yeah, that was just immediately when I thought of a brain in a jar. That's always what my mind goes to is Evil Con Carne, the brain in the bear, in a jar. But no, this is unfortunately, yeah. I don't know if we can give you the psychic mind powers or not, the telekinesis.
I think I'll just stick with my body.
And you'll just stick with the body. All right, where do you fall on this, Fresh? What's your answer?
No matter what, I'm going with the body.
He's going with the body. Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I think
mortality's good.
Yeah, I agree. I think I have always held that stance as well, that mortality is mortality for a reason, and at the end of the day, you're not gonna wanna. At a certain point, you're gonna want to call it.
No matter how much telepathy I had, it would get old after a certain amount of time.
Right.
Well, that's why you become a supervillain, so you can mix things up.
Yeah, I guess
right. When you're living infinitely, right? Everything will eventually get old.
Yeah, but I don't know. Evan makes a good point. I think a supervillain, why not?
You can have a lot of fun for a while.
Again, that's why Evil Con Carne immediately comes to mind, because you live on an island, you're just coming up with schemes, you got a crew. I mean, that sounds like the life to me. But I don't know. I have always agreed with Fresh. Again, in philosophy class, in a philosophy class I took in college, when they kind of would propose that argument, would you rather kind of be in a suspended state and have simulated experiences but still be experiencing, or would you just choose to live a normal life? I think you realize the value in a normal life as opposed. It's Black Mirror shit. It's the idea you get that capability and then somehow you're cursed and you can't get out when you want to get out. When you want to say, okay, I'm done with this, it's like, nope, sorry, you're trapped in here forever. Go ahead, Fresh. Don't you love it? It's done this every time when you guys are like posing a big thought. And so
you'd almost think we're doing it on purpose.
You would. It does seem that way, but I assure you it's not. It is
just some good.
So I did a factory reset on my router, and I think I'm just gonna have to get a new one. So that's the update on that front. Doesn't really matter.
If anybody would like to donate a router to the stream.
It's such a new router. That's what's annoying about it. It shouldn't be corrupted, but something happened.
Some kind of gremlin.
Well, it's Caligari Curse is what it is. It's somehow transferred to the router. I can't get it out.
The internet's haunted.
It is.
That's what you call a priest.
That's what you get. Okay, Fresh, you're back. So sorry if you want to continue that thought.
I forgot.
Well, I don't blame you. Yeah, that's apologies for my Wi-Fi, Fresh. It is what it is.
No, you're fine.
All right. Well, I think if you boys, anything before we get into it, any final thoughts, any final predictions about, do we think Jan gets a new body and they live happily ever after?
I think Jan is going for the supervillain angle.
Yeah, I think so too. She seems too smart.
She does. She ain't having it. She isn't going to put up with it. She hates him. She hates the monster she's become. She definitely believes she's a monster. So we'll see how they handle this. Fresh, if you have it queued up.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get into the exciting conclusion of The Brain That Wouldn't Die right now.
So you know how they say when you lose one of your senses that the other ones get stronger? Maybe if you're just a head, since you have no senses, you become telepathic because your brain gets so much stronger.
That's what I felt like they've implied with this. Again, I don't think I'm making this up, but the last time I saw it, I felt like I was watching pretty closely. I felt like that's what I took from it, was that she's got some kind of telekinesis, is communicating with this thing, but she was just talking to it. Like, I'm not paying close enough attention now because we're doing the thing. You know, we're doing the thing. We're doing the show.
Well, we already know that she was not going to do any ADR, so
no, she wouldn't have that.
no voiceovers. So.
Nope, not gonna have it.
You'll have to take our word that she's telepathic.
So this is Nudie Cutie, a bunch of photographers standing around a woman.
He doesn't even work here.
One of these photographers,
No, he's just here.
One of these photographers is the Jerry Lewis impersonator who was in Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla, doing the whole Jerry Lewis impression that was really, really annoying. And we'll get to see it when we watch Bela Lugosi Meets a Brooklyn Gorilla. Not this season, but it's public domain, so
in the future
we'll watch it. But yeah, Sammy Petrola, I think he's the one on the like right in front of her, like on a you know, squatting down.
I've had it for two. Come on, baby, one more. Just one more, please. Another 5 minutes, baby.
One more.
Come on, baby.
Okay.
I need another one. Give me another picture.
Give me more. Whew. No, he's just taking the camera strap off of him, but it doesn't look like he
whipped it off.
Ooh, I'm beat.
All that picture snapping really makes a man really makes you thirst.
Away from everybody, someplace where nobody will butt in with. You and I can really be alone.
No, thank you.
How about posing for me? Private like. I'll pay you real money, real good money. Kind of money they don't throw at you every day. And for doing hardly nothing at all.
All right, Harvey Weinstein, we get it.
Only Wednesdays and Saturdays, 8 to 10.
Yeah, I know, but we can...
Good night.
Shut him down.
Damn. Get lost, loser.
So I guess this was pretty easy for them to set up the scene. You know, you just leave all the lights in the shot. It's, you know, it's not too hard. You just see stands with the wheels.
You just light it however you want.
Mm-hmm. You don't need to hide anything. We're in a studio.
I'm not running a charity.
You don't remember me, do you, Doris?
Every guy on the make gives me that same tired line.
I'm Bill Cortner.
Love the slang.
Bill Cortner. Long time ago, that fight. You almost tore that wise guy apart for making fun of me. After my accident.
Look, can't we go somewhere and...
After
no, I don't date
the accident.
Because I pose like I do. Your mind works overtime. You get ideas. You're all alike.
Man.
No, not all of us. I'm not on the make for you.
Okay, so maybe you're better than most.
On the make.
Maybe
Let's
not.
bring that back.
I still
on the make.
On the make. So
did
sleazy.
to me once. Have you forgotten?
We're on the make, baby.
No, I haven't
Oh,
forgotten.
these fucking assholes.
Neither have I. I carry the memory around with me.
But you can't hide yourself away here forever, posing bare in front of a bunch of neurotics.
Listen, Galahad. I trusted a man once, all the way. What did it get me? He gets his head full of jealous lies, and
You've got to forget what
How
happened.
can I forget? I carry the memory around with me.
That looks real.
This is gonna be perfect. Yeah, so real.
Still so interested. Doesn't it make you sick?
He's gonna say some really obvious line about how that's not what he needs.
Turn away from me.
This is
Everyone
perfect.
else does.
I don't care about your scar.
Oh, well, it's above the neck, so it's
That's the
okay.
only beauty in you.
From the
Lovely
waist,
body and a
from the head
face
down.
that can be made beautiful again also.
Yeah. I've heard that song before.
I'm a doctor, I know.
I'm a
Father's one of the
doctor.
leading plastic
Trust me,
surgeons. If anyone can
I'm a
help you, we
doctor.
can. I know I can.
I've been to doctors. It's no use. The scar tissue's too deep. No one can help
Scar
me.
tissue that I wish
That
you
was a few
saw.
years ago.
Aw.
Today, nothing's hopeless. We can graft scar and skin tissue that... Well, we can even freeze areas of the skin and sand away damaged skin tissues.
The way you say that look in your eyes, I almost want to believe you. I almost want to believe you.
Well, then start believing, hmm?
If some guy shows up at your apartment and offers you free plastic surgery, that's the next poll question. Yes or no? Do you take it?
The cost of healthcare in this country.
You just injected Mexican collagen in my eye.
Father could help me.
Did you say free surgery?
Don't talk about money. He does a lot of work without any charge.
You were supposed to hold
Why should you
still.
want to do this for me? What's in it for you?
I'm going to make your face beautiful again. Cut it off and give your body away.
Well, that's about as straightforward as you could tell her, yeah.
I'm sorry, Bill. I have been knocked around so many times. I've lost count. It's tough living with this. I don't mean to sound ungrateful.
Well, because you've been battered around, don't go sour. You shouldn't lose your trust in people. Not all of us.
I believe
Scumbag.
you want to. Do you really?
Not all of us, just people like me.
Only my father knows. Look, we have a country place just out of town. He's visiting for the weekend.
The country
I could take you there now
place.
for consultation.
You mean tonight?
Well, if you'd rather wait till he comes back, if
Oh
he
no,
comes
no.
back.
I mean, he wouldn't be annoyed being bothered with me so late at night.
Well, you let me do the
What, he's
worrying.
using his father as a
I'll
cover?
do anything that'll help me get rid of this face.
Well, that's where I come in. Remember the last time I helped you?
God, this dude is awful.
Where are you going? Who are you calling?
My girlfriend, I want to tell her the news.
Before you know what the verdict
Oh.
If I'm not that good, you know, maybe it doesn't work out so well. So maybe you shouldn't tell her.
Yeah, actually, I'm not actually that good of a surgeon.
You'll see you later. Otherwise, she'll ask a lot of nosy questions. We want to be sure first. Just throw something on, huh?
I'll be with you in a minute.
Don't call anybody.
Was he gonna go cut the phone cord or something?
Just tell her you'll keep in touch. I'll leave it on the table. She'll see it.
Had to go out with old friend Bill Cortner.
Force her to write a letter? What is this?
Call
You?
tomorrow. Doris.
Yeah, but she just has no idea.
I'll leave it on the lamp. She'll see it, won't she?
He's not gonna leave that letter.
I have waited so long.
You're gonna show us what he really wrote.
So have I.
No, he wrote it, or she wrote it, and then he just
Did he pocket it?
and put it there. Yeah. Yeah, he put it in his pocket and then put a piece of empty paper there. A blank piece.
Again. Hit it again.
Again.
Got to see your hideousness. You've got to see mine.
I've got to know I'm not the worst thing in this house right now. I need a morale booster.
Nothing you can be is more terrible than what I am.
Oh, pity party over here. All right.
Boo-hoo, does somebody miss their body?
I'm the biggest freak in the room. Yeah, look at me. Everybody look at
I
me.
hate him for what he's done to me.
Right, here we go.
Can your horror match mine?
Dung, dung.
Someone's coming.
is a pretty wild concept to think about. Just this disembodied head here on a table, this fucking monster in this closet, man. Like, for a little indie upstate New York movie in the 1959.
Their wacky roommates, antics ensue.
Mm-hmm.
Your formless, sniveling fear becomes you more.
Yeah. What makes you think I'm afraid of what's in there?
This guy's so good acting opposite a dummy head.
Yeah, pretty good.
People fear what they don't understand and what they can't see.
What are you talking about?
She's right.
You're nothing but a freak of life.
Didn't think I'd say it, but the head is right.
Why should I be afraid of a few knocks on a door?
But last night you ran. You were afraid of what you imagined.
I do love the whole setup around her head. I've always loved all the gadgets and the gizmos and everything.
It's very sciencey.
It is
old school Frankenstein.
It is, I mean, for your budget, you know, can't do much for the rest of the room, but you got a good
Yeah, they didn't have the budget for the Tesla coil.
No. All that other lab equipment that was supposed to go on the other side of the room, they couldn't
Used an
afford.
earlier formula. It wasn't as successful as the serum he's using on you, but it was enough to allow the transplants to take. If your experiment is successful, then it'll be my turn.
And what else has happened to it?
Mean what else? Well, it's mutated some, of course. It's changed considerably.
Why don't you open the door? Both see how it's changed.
Listen, you. I warn you.
Listen, you.
You better stop pestering me here.
That's what I would say. That's how I would address it too. I'm not gonna be bossed around by a head and a pan. Listen, you.
Afraid of whom? Of you? No.
Grammatically correct. Afraid of whom? It's whom.
Nor
I'm gonna do it, but it's because I want to.
Only keeps it locked in there so that it'll be safe, that's all.
Safe?
Safe?
From me?
From me?
Good. Nice. Hard to laugh when your vocal cords have been kind of ripped out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a wonder she can talk at all.
Lifetime of agony. Then we'll see who's laughing at whom. You miserable.
He's there with the whom again.
That looks familiar.
Yeah, that is.
Oh, he's gonna rip off the other arm.
No, not that. Oh. So this guy, Eddie Carmel, is playing the monster, and you'll see he's a force of nature. We got some blood action in the house. You gotta love it.
I do kind of like. I mean, you can very obviously.
Yeah,
see
you
his arm
see
in there,
his arm. It's shoved up in that sleeve.
I do love blood smears on walls.
Yeah, just yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
It's simple. It's effective.
Yeah.
You don't have to show the arm getting ripped off. And just cut to it. I mean, that
Just a bloody stump.
Great, but
no, but God damn it! I can't open the door. Yeah, what a terrible life, man. Your good arm gone. Your bad arm can't do shit with it. Oh, she's... That's ADR right there.
that the same person? I don't know if it is.
I don't think so. Oh, I think it's the other lady.
Yeah.
So, but the woman playing Jan, the head, she died in 2019. So, not that long ago.
Oh.
Apparently, I couldn't confirm this, she donated her body to science.
Oh, really?
I don't know if that's true. I couldn't
ironic.
verify that. But
Did she donate her head?
well, I mean, I think it's all together. I just found it ironic to begin with, but apparently she donated it to UCLA Medical School. So that's not uncommon. Lon Chaney Jr. apparently donated his body to, I don't know if it was UCLA, but to science, to some medical school.
It says here in his will, donate his body to science. We don't know exactly who to give this to.
Not very specific on
All right, just drop him off at the nearest medical school. Whichever one's the closest. It doesn't really matter if they're good or not. Just get him over there.
Where's the nearest science?
I'm looking for our best scientists. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. It's scientists.
Oh, I guess it is.
Take me to them.
Well, sit down. I'll fix us a drink, huh? My father should be back soon.
I'll fix
make
us
you a drink.
Yeah, fix you a drink. See?
Oh, come on now, Doris. Do I look like a maniac who goes around killing girls? Now you've got
yeah.
All right, now. Okay.
I trust you. I trust you with my life.
That's what I'm
She
saying. He's
should've.
not subtle.
He's not. He's very upfront about all of this.
All of it.
It's all.
He's an asshole.
He is. He's got that silver tongue. He's like a serial killer. He just tell you, yeah, I'm about to kill you, but.
This
He's
looks
a lot
like
less
a
charming without the coat on.
right. Yeah, at the loss of power. It looked like he walks into this is like a sitcom set or it's gone bad, and he's like. Kramer's lying there with his arm ripped off. Kramer, what have you done now?
Jerry, this is bad, Jerry.
Well, I guess the giant is really Kramer. When we see him bust through the door, at his most Kramer, that's when we'll know.
Top Kramer.
Top Kramer without a doubt.
We got Elaine, so
yeah, she's Elaine. Elaine, what am I supposed to do with your head in a pan? How are we supposed to, Yeah.
Yeah.
So I broke up with her.
Don't get us started yet. We'll just keep making Seinfeld noises for the next 20 minutes. Don't worry.
So you're not a man. You're not a pan man. I'm not a man who likes pans.
Not a pan man. Pan man.
Doesn't like pans. Not a pan man.
Because I heard Kramer was a pan man.
Well, Jerry, he's a man in the pan. It doesn't mean he likes pants. He's not a pan man. Oh, not a pan fan.
Not a pan fan with pan man. Let me make you a drink. We've seen some of these cutaways with him with this background and other scenes, I think. Remember when we saw that one close-up of him in the bar that was weird? It was wait, what?
Yeah, that was this background.
That's this background, yeah. So now it's just
their all-purpose.
This is their
backdrop.
reshoot day, yeah.
He didn't drink. He's dead. He's like,
I know. I got a girl in my room, Kramer. I just gotta get your liquor and make her a drink.
I was beginning to think you'd forgotten about me.
Forgotten you? Why, Doris, you've become very important to me. Very important. I put a little water in.
All right, get on with it.
Fine. I'm not a very heavy drinker.
Neither am I. Well, here's to your future, whatever it may be.
I'll drink to that.
Jerry, you didn't drink out of the liquor bottle, did you? Jerry, that's where I keep my poison. The liquor's in the poison bottle.
Kramer, what are you doing? Keeping the poison in your liquor bottles!
Why is the poison bottle next to the liquor bottle? That's ridiculous.
What am I gonna do? Fucking Jerry Seinfeld.
Here comes the music.
Yeah, it's just stalking back. The
this
sleaze
poison's making me so hot.
It's just so hot. This drink with this bubbly substance on the top. I don't know what could it be.
This drink sure tastes funny.
This fucking asshole. Don't worry. He's gonna get what he deserves. If you're obviously disturbed by this predatory behavior, don't worry. The production code was still in effect. You get what you get. You get what you give? You give what you get?
You give what you get?
give what you get. You get what you give?
Bill.
Yeah.
You're gonna give what you give.
Something in my
I guarantee.
You're gonna give what you could give.
That's kind of creepy.
I know.
I like
it's
that.
pretty intense. POVs. Good shots.
I love this set.
No, they didn't have the
Like a
money.
sitcom set.
They didn't have the money to do anything outside of just the table, and then they just had this sitcom set sitting around.
I told you I'd bring you a body. A beautiful one.
She's like, what the fuck?
It would be a lot less trouble to just get a new girlfriend.
She was a complete woman, not part of one.
And this girl would have. She was
wanted to
into him.
die.
It would have been great.
Crime to want to keep you alive.
Fucking asshole. Yeah, it is a crime to want to keep her alive. If she don't want to be alive, she has rights.
This kind of thing must be done. When
It's a
over,
red
you'll
state.
New York?
New York?
in the fiction of this movie, New York.
This is upstate New York. This is Nazi country. So this is,
This is redneck land.
Right. It could not have taken her long to film all these scenes with her in the pan. Like, it couldn't have taken more than a few days.
I mean, how many setups can it possibly be?
It's mostly
It's
been
all the
like
same
2 or
shot.
3. Yeah, it hasn't, like, that
Yeah,
one
it's
we
just
just saw
her.
was a little different, but it's pretty much been the same one every time. That's different.
Yeah, there's a different angle.
You must.
And who's going to do it?
Why don't you come out of that pan and stop me?
Stop me.
Very well.
You're gonna get on that body and you're gonna like it.
Didn't expect me to whip out my trusty medical tape, did ya? God, this fucking asshole.
Won't be needing this anymore.
You've just got to get through that door. It's what we've been waiting for the whole time. What is behind door?
Now let's show her behind what's behind door number 1.
It didn't go too well for the other guy standing right there. He's more subtle in his approach.
Now she's maybe telepathically.
Look at how big his hand is. It's a real hand. It's not a fake hand.
Kind of big, a large person. Oh my god. Oh my god.
It's Sloth from the Goonies.
Wait a second.
I'm done.
You didn't think Sloth was going to make a cameo appearance, but here he is.
This is shitty Sloth.
Is this a racer head?
Yep. That's what the baby looked like when he grew up. Yeah. Eraserhead was actually a prequel to The Brain That Wouldn't Die. You didn't know that, did you, Evan?
I sure didn't.
So again, that guy's name's Eddie Carmel. He was a circus performer and a stand-up comedian at one point. He lived in the Bronx. He was called the Jewish Giant. He was born in Tel Aviv and then lived in the Bronx. And
kind of a anti-Goliath character. Jewish Giant.
Skin. Let's see your plastic surgery fix that, doctor. Oh my god.
The eyeball.
The googly eye fucking
That's what I'm saying.
slapped on the front is so good.
Oh yeah, look at that. He's smart. He knows. Take the girl. Take the girl.
Told you to let me die.
You idiot.
Okay, look at this. Get ready. See that? That was the head that wouldn't die. Yeah, so you see...
The brain that wouldn't die.
No, you didn't see that end title right there? It specifically said the head that wouldn't die. So you...
With the copyright logo.
Yeah, with the copyright. So that, I think, that's where the snafu comes in, is the fact that it said copyright on the head that wouldn't die, but it was probably filed under the brain that wouldn't die.
So the lesson here is make sure you know what the title of your movie is.
I mean, again, that was George Romero. It wasn't George Romero's problem, but that's what happened with Night of the Living Dead is the distributor changed the title, and when the title card changed, nobody bothered to put the copyright symbol on the new title card. So
womp.
So that's what happened here is nobody put the symbol, because again, it was filmed, and maybe the original title card was under the black door, and then it was changed for distribution. I guess American International Pictures changed the title to The Brain That Wouldn't Die, but there was some confusion because the head that wouldn't die, obviously, we saw there popped up at the very end. So I think that's how the copyright snafu gets mixed up and all that. But that was The Brain That Wouldn't Die. So what did we think?
I had fun with that, I think. You know, the low budget showed in places, but I get why there, could be a cult following.
Right. Yeah, I mean, again, it's it's unintentionally funny in many parts, and it is kind of on the nose in other portions. But it lends itself to a good watching experience with friends. You kind of joke, you kind of enjoy it. But again, when these movies were released on a double bill back in the day, you weren't really, if you're in the drive-in or you're in some dingy theater, you're not really paying attention.
You're too busy making out in the back of your station
Yeah, if you're
wagon.
a teenager, you're making out. If you're a kid, you're playing with your friends. You're not paying attention. I mean, and again, like, you want to talk about making out, horror movies, that's where you take your girl in your hot rod. You take her to the drive-in to see whatever horror movie is showing.
Right. And then when you get home, there's a hook on the car door handle.
We should probably just stay here in the car tonight, baby. Yeah, look out for those troublesome teens in the 50s and the 60s, man. They're up to no good. But yeah, I mean, it definitely was catering to a drive-in audience, and that whole idea of including blood, including some gore. I mean, it's an indie movie. They weren't necessarily worried about the Hollywood production code. We
don't usually see a lot of blood and gore.
No, we don't. That's why I think
this.
Yeah, that's why I think tonight's film is notable, and also notable for kicking off season 5, because I think it is kind of a theme, is that we're going to see a little more blood and gore and kind of gruesome sequences that we haven't necessarily seen before, especially in older movies. And so, yeah, Brain That Wouldn't Die, this was filmed in 1959, so it was definitely kind of pushing some boundaries. But again, an independent regional film could push the boundaries. They weren't worried about the code. So they were able to kind of show these women in lingerie and show blood and gore and all that good stuff. And I mean, the code broke down just like 5 or 6 years later. So it was they knew what the audiences wanted. They want
how, like, it's, I mean, it surprises me a little bit that they could even show this amount of blood if the code was still up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't trying to think. So this is filmed in 1959, came out in 62. At this point, blood in horror movies
had the dial kind of shifted on that a little.
I think it was shifting. Definitely mainstream movies were setting the tone. You get your war movies and you get other things that are kind of showing blood because that's part of the plot. It's necessary. And then I think horror movies were able to kind of start piggybacking. But, I think, again, by 1965, 66, wide open. People, or indie filmmakers especially, are doing whatever they want. They're showing blood, they're showing all that good stuff. That's how you get George Romero doing Night of the Living Dead in 1968. I think they filmed it in 68. But you got people eating meat off the bone in that movie,
Yeah.
Like,
pretty brutal compared to what the stuff that we've seen.
Fucking brutal, yeah. We don't get that a lot. So, but I think with our movies this season, we're getting that. Again, next week's movie, not so much. We are pivoting between kind of eras of modern horror and classic horror this season, and so, I think tonight's movie was an example of really schlocky kind of cult movie horror. And next week, we're kind of going back to the classic trends. Next week, we are watching Nosferatu from 1922. We're getting our silent movie out of the way. And it's very funny because Evan told me earlier tonight, before we started the show, that he is actually reading Dracula right now.
I am. Yeah, I'm about halfway through Dracula.
And so I don't know if you knew, but Nosferatu is an unauthorized adaptation of Dracula. The director of Nosferatu, F.W. Murnau, could not get the rights from Bram Stoker's widow, Florence Stoker. She wouldn't grant him the rights, so he just made his own version and changed. Like,
he just made new Dracula.
Instead of Dracula, he's Nosferatu. Instead of Jonathan Harker, it's